it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and today is Tracy's Tuesday tip. And so from my vacation here in Indiana, we are going to be talking about sourcing inventory and kicking it up a notch and using wholesale, private labeling, and places like Alibaba.com in order to do that. So I hope this tip is really helpful to you. If it is, please like below and subscribe so you can get all the future videos. So here is one of my business notebooks, and I keep everything in here. I keep all of my business plans, all of my goals, all of my notes pertaining to my research and my business in this notebook. And this is what I'm going to use today. I've been researching private labeling, I've been researching wholesaling, I've been researching Alibaba, and I'm going to share some of those points with you today. Okay, we're going very high tech with our marker and paper here. But today we're talking about sourcing for inventory. And up to this point, we've had a lot of videos about garage selling, thrift storing, retail arbitrage, and you're finding your inventory this way and you're sending it into Amazon FBA. And this can prove to be very time consuming because it's taking you hours, maybe hours every day to find the product to ship in to Amazon, and you're wanting to move away from that. You're wanting to invest your time in maybe website development, book writing, another platform or private labeling, and you just simply do not want to have to source for your inventory. You're tired of it. You want to move past that. So it is hard to beat. Like say I find a pair of goggles. Aren't those amazing goggles? My drawing skills are excellent, by the way. So you find a pair of goggles, you find one of them, it costs you $0.25 to buy, and lo and behold, you look on Amazon and you can sell it for $20. These are just an example. This is not a realistic one, but it's just to demonstrate the point that, you can find products new at a garage sale or a thrift store, and the profit margin is going to be amazing. So you have very little investment in your items, and you have the tendency to make more of a margin on each particular item. The downfall is that it's so time consuming. You have to go to all these different places. There's also a risk that you won't find any items, and you have to do this every day in order to maintain your company, your business, because you're dependent upon finding these items. And if you're wanting to move off of this for any way, one of the ways that you can do that is by wholesale. And basically what wholesale is you're just buying large quantities of your item. So you don't have to go out and find every single item. You can buy 300 of those goggles. So we love those goggles so much. Now we're going to buy 300 of them, but it's going to cost us more to do that. Say it's going to cost us $1.50 now to buy them, but we can still sell them for our $20 on Amazon FBA. So now what I have is I have spent, 20 minutes online, and I have 300 product to sell, and I'm making less of a profit margin, but I obviously spent less of my time, so it typically works out. Here I do have more of a startup financial risk because I've invested more money, and I have more items, so I need to make sure to do product reviews, and we get into some deeper topics there because I want to make sure that those items are going to move and that they're going to move in a timely fashion. Okay, our second option that we're going to be talking about today is private labeling. So private labeling, really where I contact a manufacturer and I have an item made, and I'm going to sell my own brand now. So I can still buy 300, say we stick with our example, and I like these goggles so much that I decide I'm going to tweak them a little bit. I'm going to stick my own Entrepreneur Girl label on them. They're going to be entrepreneur goggles. They're amazing. And I'm going to manufacture this through a manufacturing company, and I'm going to get, the same 300 of them. I don't know how much it's going to cost me. I'll have to research that. But say it's $1.75 each, and I'm still going to sell it for my same $20 on Amazon. So where this benefits me is with my private labeling is it's my own brand for one, but I can control my product. I can have market independence. I can control my personal image. I can change to customer preferences or quantities, or perhaps I'm going to be the only seller and I'm going to own all the sales in this market on Amazon. So this is where private labeling really benefits you. You know, a lot of big bucks can be made here with private labeling. These are the two areas that I'm focused on in 2015. And this is what we're talking about today, just as an intro video to kind of get you thinking about this and why we even consider it in the first place. All right, so how do I get from the idea of wholesaling and private labels to actually making it happen? Well, there are companies that you can find, and Alibaba.com is one of them. And this company is relatively new onto the scene. It's a Chinese company, and it is the world's largest e-commerce company right now. And they are an online manufacturers, and they have 80% of the e-commerce transactions in China, which is more than eBay and Amazon combined. So they are really big, and they are the one that I'm choosing to talk about today as far as our wholesale and private labeling go. How this is going to work is, well, the first thing I have to do is find my product and find my market and make sure that these two items are actually going to work. And this is a huge topic and not what we're going to be talking about today. This is actually what I'm in the process of really researching right now. But you're going to search Amazon, you know, see what the shoppers are looking for, find an item that has a really good ranking, a low number of sellers, it's not a saturated market, and that you can make a really good net profit on. And so those are types of items that you will look for to find those two things. And then once I decide, okay, I have my product, it's a terrific market, I need to find a wholesaler that I can get these items from. And then if I choose Alibaba, I'm going to contact them. I'm going to do that by submitting a buying request, and they're going to respond. You know, all the different manufacturers that want to, they can respond, and then I'm going to have to weed them out. And Alibaba has done a really good job, because when they first came out, there was a lot of skepticism about, you know, if this would work, and trust issues, and, you know, getting scammed, and those were legitimate concerns when this company first started. But they've put a lot of things in place now. They have things, you know, they have like gold manufacturers or suppliers, and they have on-site checks. And that's where third parties actually go and make sure that the company's legitimate, that they're actually there. They, you know, they have a site and a factory. They also have access suppliers where sometimes you can even find videos of the factory. And what I really like is, we'll just talk about this now. Okay, this is me. And I decide, you know, I want to buy these terrific goggles from this company in China, but, you know, I'm scared. I don't even know like how to do this, or, you know, how this all works, and if I'm going to get scammed. And Alibaba, that's where they come in, because you can weed out all of these companies with these different security measures that Alibaba has put in place. And you can also, there's things you can do too, because I can, you know, do background checks. I can make sure they're not a scam. I can contact the U.S. Department of Labor International Labor Affairs Bureau, you know, make sure it's not a sweatshop, make sure that, you know, everything's okay. I can also look to see, you know, price and delivery of the suppliers. Do they have experience with my product? Are they submitting well-written responses to me? Do they have pictures? You know, these are all things that we will talk about in future videos, but that we can check and make sure that we get a good supplier. So say we've done that. This is our supplier here. This is us. Now we're going to order our goggles. Okay, I have to switch papers because I was getting a little full. One of the things that I really like about Alibaba too is here I am, and I've ordered my product from the factory, and I'm, you know, nervous about this whole process. I'm nervous about, you know, paying for it and not seeing my product or something going wrong. Well, what Alibaba does is they have Alipay, which is really just an escrow account that you pay, you put your money into it, and when the manufacturer sends you your product and when you're happy with it, then the escrow account will then pay the company the money. So real secure way. I like this process a lot, and I like that Alibaba, put this safeguard in place. And also another consideration with this is you might be thinking it takes a long time to get your product, but really if you use the air, this is my airplane, if you use your air shipping, and it will arrive to my house in about, probably 2 to 4 weeks from the research that I have been doing. So that was a lot sooner than I thought it would, and I was happy to hear about that. And the last consideration is you might think that it cost a lot of money to do this. But in our case of the goggles, if we have 300 of them, times $1.75, it really isn't as crazy expensive as most people think that it is. So this is my preliminary research into this and what I wanted to share with you today for Tracy's Tuesday Tips, just to get you thinking about wholesale, to get you thinking about the private labeling, and to really just get you thinking outside the box of retail arbitrage, which we always talk about. So thank you. I hope you had some helpful information in this for Tracy's Tuesday Tip, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.